Ever walk past the US Capitol or courthouse and think, wait, am I in Washington, D.C. or ancient Athens? I mean, what's with all the marble columns, domes, and buildings that look like Zeus might walk out at any moment? It's like the US government saw ancient Rome and said, yeah, that's the vibe. But why? Why does the most modern democracy in the world dress its buildings like a starring Gladiator 2? Maybe even 3 at this point. Today, we're breaking down why American government buildings look like temples and what that says about how the US sees itself. Spoiler, it's about power, legacy, and just a little bit of architecture or cosplay. Let's build this thing from ground up. Let's start with the obvious. A lot of America's government buildings look like they were designed by someone who really loved togas. The Capitol? Greek dome. The Supreme Court? Full-on temple. Your local DMV? Okay, maybe less majestic, but still might have some suspicious-looking columns. So, where did this style come from? It all goes back to late 1700s and early 1800s, where America was especially independent and trying to figure out not just how to govern, but how to look like it was worth taking seriously. And when you're a brand new country, fresh out of revolution, what do? You copy your heroes. For the founding fathers, those heroes weren't recent kings or modern empires. They were ancient Greeks and Romans, civilizations that had republics, senates, and citizens who debated things loudly, just like Congress does today. By building structures that looked like ancient temples, America wasn't just being artsy, it was making a statement. We're not just some scrappy startup country, we're the spiritual successor of the greatest democracies in history. Basically, Greek columns were the political flex of the 18th century, and if you think that sounds dramatic, well, it kinda was. But hey, if you're trying to prove your legitimacy to Europe, you gotta look the part, and nothing screams respect me like a marble dome the size of a football field. Once the big dogs in DC committed to the whole modern Rome aesthetic, the style spread faster than a fast food chain on a highway exit. State capitals, courthouses, libraries, universities, even post offices started spreading columns like it was a national requirement. Want to build a public building in the 1900s? Better slap a dome on it and throw in some Corinthian columns, or you might not get taken seriously. But here's the funny part. While Americans were copying ancient architecture, they weren't copying ancient lifestyles. No public baths, no philosophers on every corner, no Olympic Games and nude, just the buildings, because priorities. This architectural trend was part of what's called Neoclassical architecture. And yes, that's a fancy name, but the idea was simple. Make buildings look timeless, serious, and powerful. And it worked. When you walk into a building with massive columns and marble staircases, it feels important. You don't question it. Even all you're doing inside is arguing over a parking ticket, it still feels like democracy is happening. That's the power of design. It shapes how we experience authority. America didn't just want to build government buildings, it wanted to build institutions that look like they will last forever. Even if Congress can barely agree on anything, these buildings were designed to feel eternal, like the ideas inside that were carved in stone too: justice, democracy, freedom, and the occasional government shutdown. Think about it. Ancient Rome fell, but their buildings didn't. They're still standing today, and that's what early American leaders were going for. A look that said, we're not here for a few decades, we're building something that lasts centuries. The columns, strength. The symmetry, order. Domes, unity and openness. The stone, permanence. Intimidating size? Well, let's just say it helps people walk in feeling a little less powerful than the institution they're dealing with. It's a kind of a psychological architecture. These buildings aren't just places where things happen. They're monuments to the idea of America, strong, fair, and built to outlast political chaos. Even when the inside is a bit of a mess, the outside says, this is a still house of the people. And yeah, that's a bit dramatic for a building where people argue about potholes. But hey, America had always had the flair for theatrical. So, here's the big question. Is America still obsessed with Roman and Greek architecture, or has it moved on? Well, kind of both. On one hand, modern government buildings still have that we the people, but make it marble vibe. You'll still find plenty of new courthouses and city halls with grand entrances, sweeping staircases, and columns that scream order in the court, even when you're just paying a parking fine. On the other hand, there's a growing movement towards modern civic design, sleeker buildings, more glass, less marble, more function over flex. Some newer structures are designed to feel open, transparent, and accessible instead of ancient and intimidating. Still, Americans seem hesitant to let go of the classics. Why? Because the old stuff feels official, even if it's outdated, even if it's inefficient, even if the air conditioning is older than the Constitution. Deep down, America still loves that Roman look, not because it's trendy, but because it tells a story about democracy, power, and trying really hard to look like you got it all together. And let's be honest, if your country is going to argue 24/7, you might as well do it inside a building that looks like it will host the gods themselves. So, why does America keep building government buildings that look like they belong in an ancient empire? Because, from the very beginning, America didn't just want to be a country, it wanted to be an idea. And ideas need symbols. Big, bold, heavy stone carved symbols. Something that says, we're not messing around. This democracy thing is here to stay. Greek columns, Roman domes, marble everything. It's not just architecture. It's storytelling. It's America saying, we're the heirs to the great republics of the past. Now, please take us seriously while we argue about parking meters inside a 300 million marble building. I apologize for the parking reference again. Somehow, I'm still flabbergasted by it. So, next time you walk past the US courthouse or state capitol and feels like you're about to attend the scene where Brutus jumps Julius Caesar, just remember, it's all by design. Now it's your turn. Drop a comment below. Do you love the classical look? Or should America finally upgrade its architecture to match the century we're living in? Hey, before you exit this temple of truth, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next Alex in America, where history, culture, and chaos all meet, usually building with really big columns.